Session 27, Origins and Related Words, Front and Back and Uncles. The ventriloquist appears to talk from the belly, venter, ventris plus loquor, rather than through the lips, or such was the strange perception of the person who first used the word. Venter, ventris, belly, is the root on which ventral and ventricle are built. The ventral side of an animal, for example, is the front or anterior side, the belly side. A ventricle is a hollow organ or cavity, or, logically enough, belly, as one of the two chambers of the heart, or one of the four chambers of the brain. The ventricles of the heart are the lower chambers and receive blood from the auricles, or upper chambers. The auricle, so named because it is somewhat ear-shaped, Latin auris, ear, receives blood from the veins. The auricles send the blood into the ventricles, which in turn pump the blood into the arteries. It's all very complicated, but fortunately it works. The adjective form of ventricle is ventricular, which may refer to a ventricle or may mean having a belly-like bulge. Now that you see how ventricular is formed from ventricle, can you figure out the adjective of auricle? Nekganiau. How about the adjective of vehicle? Of circle? Stia. No doubt you wrote auricular, vehicular, and circular and have discovered that nouns ending in cle from adjectives ending in cular. So you can now be the first person on your block to figure out the adjective derived from clavicle blank. Cuticle, vesicle, testicle, uncle blank. The answers, of course, are clavicular, cuticular, vesicular, testicular, and for uncle you have every right to shout, "No fair!" But where is it written that life is fair? The Latin word for uncle, actually uncle on the mother's side, is avunculus, from which we get avuncular, referring to an uncle. Now what about an uncle? Well, traditional or stereotypical uncles are generally kindly, permissive, indulgent, protective, and often give helpful advice. So anyone who exhibits one or more of such traits to another, usually younger, person is avuncular, or acts in an avuncular capacity. So, at long last, to get back to ventral, if there's a front or belly side, anatomically, there must be a reverse, a backside. This is the dorsal side, from Latin dorsum, the root on which the verb endorse is built. If you endorse a check, you sign it on the backside. If you endorse a plan, an idea, etc., you back it, you express your approval or support. The noun is endorsement. 2. The noise and the fury. Vociferous derives from Latin vox, vocis, voice, a root you met in Chapter 9, plus fero, to bear or carry. A vociferous rejoinder carries a lot of voice, that is, it is vehement, loud, noisy, clamorous, shouting. The noun is vociferousness. The verb is to vociferate. Can you form the noun derived from the verb blank? 3. To sleep or not to sleep? That is the question. The root fero is found also in somniferous, carrying, bearing, or bringing sleep. So a somniferous lecture is so dull and boring that it is sleep-inducing. Fero is combined with somnus, sleep, in somniferous. The suffix -ious indicates what part of speech, blank. Tack on the negative prefix in to somnus to construct insomnia, the abnormal inability to fall asleep when sleep is required or desired. The unfortunate victim of this disability is an insomniac. The adjective is insomnious. So, vius, in case you could not answer the question in the preceding paragraph, is an adjective suffix. Add a different adjective suffix to somnus to derive somnolent, sleepy, drowsy. Can you construct the noun form of somnolent, lodoa, or combine somnus with ambulo, to walk, and you have somnambulism, walking in one's sleep. With your increasing skill in using etymology to form words, write the term for the person who is a sleepwalker, blank. Now add to the word you wrote a two-letter adjective suffix we have learned to form the adjective blank. 4. A walk away. An ambulatory patient, as in a hospital or convalescent home, is finally well enough to get out of bed and walk around. A perambulator, a word used more in England than in the United States, and often shortened to pram, is a baby carriage, a vehicle for walking an infant through the streets, through. To perambulate is etymologically to walk through, hence to stroll around. Can you write the noun form of this verb? To amble is to walk aimlessly. An ambulance is so called because originally it was composed of 2 stretcher-bearers who walked off the battlefield with a wounded soldier, and a preamble is, by etymology, something that walks before, beforehand, hence an introduction or introductory statement as the preamble to the U.S. Constitution, We the People. A preamble to the speech, etc., or any event that is introductory or preliminary to another, as in an increase in inflationary factors in the economy, is often a preamble to a drop in the stock market. 5. Back to sleep. Somnus is one Latin word for sleep, sopor is another. A soporific lecture, speaker, style of delivery, etc., will put the audience to sleep, fic from facio, to make, and a soporific is a sleeping pill. 6. Noun suffixes. You know that ness can be added to any adjective to construct the noun form. Write the noun derived from inarticulate, blank. Inarticulate is a combination of the negative prefix in and Latin articulus, a joint. The inarticulate person has trouble joining words together coherently. If you are quite articulate, on the other hand, you join your words together easily. You are verbal, vocal, possibly even voluble. The verb to articulate is to join words, that is, to express your vocal sounds, as in, please articulate more clearly. Can you write the noun derived from the verb articulate? Blank. Another and very common noun suffix attached to adjectives is, as you have discovered, ity. So the noun form of banal is either banalness or, more commonly, banality. Bear in mind, then, that ness and ity are common noun suffixes attached to adjectives, and ion or ation is a noun suffix frequenty affixed to verbs, to articulate, articulation, to vocalize, vocalization, to perambulate, perambulation. Review of etymology. Prefix, root, suffix meaning 1. Venter, ventris belly. Sadi transpetor. 2. Locker, to speak. Conver. 3. Oris, ear. 4. Avunculus, uncle. 5. Dorsum, back. 6. Vox, vocis, voice. 7. Pharaoh, to carry, bear. 8. Somnus, sleep. 9. Aus, adjective suffix, blank. 10. In, negative suffix. 11. Ambulo, to walk. Aliri. 12. Ori, adjective suffix. 13. Through. 14. Before, beforehand. 15. Sopor, sleep. 16. Facio, to make or do. 17. Ness, noun suffix. 18. Ity, noun suffix. 19. Ion, ation, noun suffix attached to verbs, blank. 20. Ent, adjective suffix, blank. 21. Ens, ensi, noun suffix. Are the using the words. Can you pronounce the words? 1. Ventral. 2. Ventricle. 3. Auricle. 4. Ventricular. 5. Auricular. 6. Avuncular. 7. Dorsal. 8. Endorse. 9. Endorsement. 10. Vociferousness. 11. Vociferate. 12. Vociferation. Can you pronounce the words? 1. Somniferous. 2. Insomnia. 3. Insomniac. 4. Insomnious. 5. Somnolent. 6. Somnolence. 7. Somnolency. 8. Somnambulism. 9th somnambulist. 10. Somnambulistic. Can you pronounce the words? 1. Ambulatory. 2. Perambulator. 3. Perambulate. 4. Perambulation. 5. Amble. 6. Preamble. 7. Soporific. 8. Inarticulateness. 9. Articulate. 10. Banality. Can you work with the words? A. Unable to fall asleep. B. Pertaining to sleepwalking. C. Drowsy. D. Able to walk after being bedridden. E. Verbal, vocal. F. Like an uncle. Kindly, protective. G. Pertaining to one of the chambers of the heart. H. Referring to the front or belly side. I. Sleep-inducing. J. Referring to the backside. Can you work with the words? A. Inability to fall asleep. B. Sleepwalking. C. Introduction, preliminary or introductory occurrence. D. Incoherence, sputtering, inability to get words out. E. Chamber of the heart. F. Sleeping pill. G. Support, approval. H. Lack of originality, lack of imagination. I. Drowsiness. J. Baby buggy, stroller. K. Loudness, clamorousness. Can you work with the words? A. One who cannot fall asleep. B. Sleepwalker. C. Walk aimlessly. D. Stroll through, walk around. E. To sign on the back. Support, approve of. F. Drowsiness. G. Say loudly and with great vehemence. H. Causing sleep. I. Wakeful, unable to fall asleep. Do you understand the words? 1. Does an insomniac often need a soporific? Yes or no. 2. Does a somnambulist always stay in bed when asleep? Yes or no. 3. Are ambulatory patients bedridden? Yes or no. 4. Does a preamble come after another event? Yes or no. 5. Are articulate people verbal? Yes or no. 6. Does banality show creativeness? Yes or no. 7. Does an avuncular attitude indicate affection and protectiveness? Yes or no. 8. Is vociferation habitual with quiet, shy people? Yes or no. 9. Is a somnolent person wide awake? Yes or no. 10. Is a somniferous speaker stimulating and exciting? Yes or no. Can you recall the words? 1. Lack of imagination or originality in speech, actions, or style of life, hackneyed or trite phraseology. Blank. 2. Sleep-inducing. 3. Unable to fall asleep. 4. Verbal, vocal, speaking fluently. 5. Acting like an uncle, blank. 6. Referring to the front, anterior. 7. Referring to the back, posterior. 8. Approve of, support. Sign on the back of. Sikidyas. 9. Shout vehemently. 10. One who cannot fall asleep. 11. Drowsy, sleepy. 12. Sleepwalker. 13. Now able to walk, though previously bedridden. 14. Walk aimlessly. 15. Introduction, introductory event. 16. Incoherence. Chapter review. A. Do you recognize the words? 1. Disinclined to conversation. A. Loquacious. B. Laconic. C. Taciturn. 2. Trite. A. Inarticulate. B. Banal. C. Verbose. 3. Rapid and fluent. A. Voluble. B. Verbose. C. Garrulous. 4. Forceful and compelling. A. Vociferous. B. Cogent. C. Laconic. 5. unspoken, A. Verbatim, B. Eloquent, C. Tacit. 6. Using elegant and impressive words, A. Verbose, B. Grandiloquent, C. Colloquial. 7. Back, A. Dorsal, B. Ventral, C. Somniferous. 8. Sleep-inducing, A. Soporific, B. Somnolent, C. Ventral. 9. Inability to fall asleep, A. Somnambulism, B. Ambulatory, C. Insomnia. 10. Talkativeness, A. Reticence, B. Ventriloquism, C. Loquacity. 11. Expressing indirectly or in a roundabout way, A. Circumlocutory, B. Colloquial, C. Laconic. 12. Elegance in expression, A. Magniloquence, B. Grandiloquence, C. Verbiage. 13. Wordiness, A. Laconism, B. Cogency, C. Verbosity. 14. Big-hearted, generous, unselfish, A. Grandiloquent, B. Magnanimous, C. Garrulous. 15. Causing radical changes, A. Evolutionary, B. Revolutionary, C. Ventricular. 16. To shout vehemently, A. Endorse, B. Perambulate, C. Vociferate. 17. Like an uncle, A. Ventricular, B. Auricular, C. Avuncular. 18. Drowsy, A. Somniferous, B. Somnolent, C. Soporific. 19. Sleepwalking, A. Insomnia, B. Somnolency, C. Somnambulism. 20. Introduction, A. Preamble, B. Perambulator, C. Evolution. B. Can you recognize roots? Root meaning 1. Taceo blank, taciturn. 2. Locker blank, loquacity. 3. Solus blank, soliloquize. 4. Venter, ventris blank. Ventral. 5. Magnus blank, magniloquent. 6. Grandis blank, grandiloquent. 7th verbum blank. Verbatim. 8. Volvo, volutus blank, revolution. 9. Gario blank, garrulous. 10. Animus blank, magnanimous. 11th opus blank, magnum opus. 12th opero blank, operator. 13th orus blank, auricle. 14. Avunculus, avuncular. 15. Dorsum blank, dorsal. 16th vox, vocis, vociferate. 17. Pharaoh blank, somniferous. 18. Ambulo, preamble. 19. Sopor, soporific. 20. Somnus, somnolency. Teaser questions for the amateur etymologist. 1. The present participle or ing form of the Latin verb opero, to work, is operans, working. The form operandi means of working. Can you figure out the literal meaning of the phrase modus operandi, sometimes used to signify the characteristic methods or procedures used by certain criminals? 2. Circum, we have learned, is a prefix meaning around, as in circumlocution, circumference, circumcision, circumnavigation, etc. Thinking of the root scribo, scriptus, to write, can you figure out the word meaning writing or written material around the edge of something? 3. You know the roots somnus and loquor. Can you combine these two roots to form an adjective meaning talking in one's sleep? Can you write the noun form of this adjective? 4. We have discovered orus ear, as in auricle. Can you figure out the specialty of the physician called an aurist? 5. Verbal from verbum refers to words. Oral from os, orus, the mouth, refers to spoken words or sounds. Can you analyze oral and decide on its meaning? 6. A somnambulist walks in his sleep. What does a noctambulist do? Blank. 7. Soporific. combining sopor, sleep, with fic, from facio, to make, means inducing or causing sleep. Use somnus, another root for sleep, to construct a word that has the same form and meaning as soporific, blank. 8. Perambulate is to walk through. Use another Latin prefix to construct a verb meaning to walk around blank. Answers in Chapter 18. Becoming alert to new ideas. Some chapters back, I suggested that since words are symbols of ideas, one of the most effective means of building your vocabulary is to read books that deal with new ideas. Along that line, I further suggested that the fields of psychology, psychiatry, and psychoanalysis would be good starting points, and I mentioned a number of exciting books to work with. Needless to say, you will not wish to neglect other fields, and so I want to recommend at this point highly readable books in additional subjects. All these books will increase your familiarity with the world of ideas. All of them, therefore, will help you build a superior vocabulary. All but one or two of these stimulating and informative books are available in inexpensive paperback editions. Most of them can be found in any large public library. Any one of them will provide an evening of entertainment and excitement far more rewarding than watching TV, will possibly open for you new areas of knowledge and understanding, and will undoubtedly contain so many of the words you have learned in this book that you will again and again experience the delicious shock of recognition that I spoke of in an earlier chapter. Additionally, you may encounter words you have never seen before that are built on roots you are familiar with, and you will then realize how simple it is to figure out the probable meaning of even the most esoteric term once you have become an expert in roots, prefixes, and suffixes. End of Session 27.